Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Welcome to my live stream, Amazon Prime Day, and I'm going over a bunch of my books that I've actually written. I've written 10 plus books, and a lot of them are available right here on Amazon Live. So I figured that I'd kind of reach out and share some of them with you, so you get a better idea of what they are, how I work as an author, and how I use obviously Amazon as a platform to help bring them to the world. Anyway, so my first book that I have here on the carousel, I just want to make sure I stay in touch with that as I go through. It's Note to Self. It's kind of like more of a comical satire on basically the outlook of everyday items, everyday things, everyday experiences that I've run across. So looking at the overhead cam, just kind of going through it. So just a bunch of different stories that I've gathered throughout my life, and I just basically kind of assembled it as some unique satire, comical stuff, just everyday life, everyday experiences. So I mean, it's a quick read. Pretty awesome. Some great stories in here. A lot of people have gotten a lot of really good laughs out of it. So again, is an attempt at humor overall. But yeah, pretty cool. So let's move on to the next one, and this is a comprehensive guide to beginning a meditation journey. Now, one thing that I do a lot, and it's kind of hard to see, but right over here I have a sauna. You can kind of see the Garage Mahal reflection in the glass door there. I do a lot of meditation, and just through my everyday meditations, it's helped me a lot as far as coping with everyday, life things, from family to career to, different jobs I've had throughout my lifetime. So it just it's kind of just again, it's exactly what it is. It's a beginning guide to meditation. So if you're unfamiliar with how to meditate, this book will give you a really general idea of the benefits, what it can do for you, how it works, some tips, some tricks, some using yoga and meditation. But it's just filled with a lot of information, and it is another quick read that I put together. Everything that I do, except for my one novel, I try to do so that it is a quick understanding and a quick read on basically any topic that I cover. But that is that book. I mean, it's pretty quick, pretty easy to understand. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in this format. I'll be happy to answer anything that you might have, might be on your mind. And also, if you just want to say hi, just so I know people are out there watching this and they're getting some useful information from all my writings. Like I said, it's been I've been writing probably as an author for close to, I got to be honest with you, since I was in 5th grade was when I first put together my first book. And I've just kind of been writing, been a prolific writer, as you probably can tell, throughout my adult life, and I've had some pretty good success with it. So, all right, next one on the carousel is Management Experience, and this is a work of basically my entire career up until when I just basically started becoming a full-time author, full-time creator. This is basically my resume, if that sounds kind of weird. I was actually in a interview, and my resume, I think it was a ridiculous 5 pages long. I mean, it was I just had so much experience, I just wanted to list it as best as I could. And during the interview process, the guy was he was like, hey, listen. I was like, great resume, but it's as big as a book. So, that just kind of gave me an idea. I was like, you know what, let me just write a book on my experiences of being a manager in some of the top Fortune, not even 500, the top 100 Fortune 100 companies, as a mid to the high level manager. So, even if you're starting off as like a supervisor, first-time manager, whatever your level is in a company, I think you'll enjoy a lot of stories that I have here from all the different jobs and companies that I've worked for. It's just kind of like a labor of love that this thing was, and like I said, it's just kind of like a quick look at the beginning of it. I mean, it's just, I mean, you can see the print size pretty well. It's a little bit of a longer read, but again, I can promise you that you'll find some interesting stories in here, interesting things about me, interesting things about my career path, and you'll probably understand why I ended up leaving corporate America and becoming basically a full-time author and creator. But this will give you kind of a glimpse of how I operate as a manager, supervisor, and we go from there. But that is that book. Another one is a beginner's guide for aquarium maintenance, a step-by-step guide to keeping your aquatic world flourishing. So just kind of give you an idea, I am into keeping aquariums, fish, links in with the meditation thing. It's a great way to kind of like, I call it like fish TV. I've got my grandson into sitting there watching the fish and the snails and everything else swimming around, working their way through the fish tank. I have some images in here to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with each chapter. But again, it was just kind of like one of my passions in life, of just watching aquatic life and having a aquarium in the house. I think it's a very tranquil thing to have, as well as just kind of like an overall good feel of what life is all about. Just by watching fish, you can learn a lot. So that is that book. And again, any questions you have would be great. Look forward to answering anything I can. Okay, this one seems gigantic, and it is. You can tell how thick this thing is. Daunting, maybe, but it's a gratitude daily journal. Something I like to do every single day is basically have gratitude for the life that I have, life that my family has. I think that's something that we definitely need overall as a society nowadays. And to kind of give you an idea, so it looks daunting, but the first couple pages, it's about my daily gratitude that I give for health and prosperity, and it's got a couple pages with just some kind of like hints or suggestions on what you should do, and then it is basically, it's just these 2 pages repetitive. Let me try to get that in frame a little bit better. I think that works a little bit better. So it's basically just these 2 pages repeated for basically a year, 365 days. Like, it just covers like the entire daily gratitude journal. And to give you an idea, you got your date, circle a day. Today I'm grateful for, and then I basically list 3 things that I'm grateful for. Today's affirmations, so I list 3, and that's basically going to like gratitude affirmations like, today I am grateful for my strong and healthy body. So, and then it just kind of goes on from there. Notes and reminders, anything that you want to list for the day or the next day that you can glance at. So again, that's part of your journal process. Daily goals, 3 daily goals, plain and simple, 3 things that you want to accomplish today. Eat better, exercise more, sleep more, something that we're deprived of as a general society nowadays. 3 slots, who I said thank you to today. Something as simple as a thank you. I was very big on writing a lot of different thank you notes and sending them to people that have helped me for that day, that week, that month, that year. And then some other little positive affirmations. I will drink enough water. I will eat healthy. I will meditate. I will exercise. I will get enough sleep. So right there, And then tomorrow I look forward to, and then you list 3 things that you want to do. But again, that's all this is. It's just one gigantic repetition of daily gratitude. But this is something that I use every single day, and like I said, it's huge. It's a big book. But I made it purposely for that reason, that you can write in for 365 plus days. I think it's like 380 pages or something like that in total. But I mean, this is definitely a very useful thing that you can do on a daily basis. So those are just like a handful of the paperback books that I have available. Next, we're going to move on to, this was a labor of love, and hopefully you can see that without too much glare. So this is Reinhoff. This is a gothic horror novel that I wrote. Took me probably about, I don't know, 9 months to close to a year. I actually wrote this when I had a bout of unemployment. So I had nothing better to do except I had 2 options. Sit on the couch and just like sulk over my situation, or I could just be productive and start writing. So what I did is I kept myself busy during the day. I was sending resume upon resume upon resume out. Again, it was probably because my resume was like 5 pages long, is probably why I had that bout of unemployment, which I'm sure some of you have had. If you haven't, I don't recommend it, but it is part of life. It will happen at some point. So I wrote this gothic horror novel. So by day, I was sending out resumes, trying to get some interviews. By night, I was spending my time writing in basically kind of like solitude in our bedroom. I'm married to a beautiful, lovely wife, and she would be going to bed, and then I would stay up for a couple more hours, and I would just like write, because it was the quietest time that I had at nighttime. And I just had a bunch of different, you know, I guess, visions of how I wanted this book to be laid out. I did an outline. I had a bunch of art that was basically drawn up. Some of the pictures that I have that I had done will be inside the book itself. This was one of like the cover art that was actually designed by an artist from Amazon, so I was like, you know, pleasantly surprised. However, I got to be honest, as my first novel, I'm proud and I'm not proud of it. I'm proud because I turned it into an audiobook, which I'll talk about in a couple seconds. But the written part, I went through 3 different editors. I didn't have a lot of money to spend on good quality editors, so I just kept getting, you know, a bad edit after bad edit after bad edit, and I just looked at it. I was like, look, I kind of just wrote this as a story, vision of it as being a movie, but I ended up turning it into a graphic novel. And what I mean by that is it's basically, it's not a graphic novel in itself. It is just a plain novel, but like I want to get into a graphic novel. I have all the artwork pretty much ready to go on that. Just haven't gotten to that point. But it was written primarily as a vision of turning into a movie. So the next part about it was I turned it into an audiobook. If you've ever listened to audiobooks, one thing about them is they typically have one narrator and they do all the characters in the entire book. Let me take a drink real quick. But that was not something I was looking to do. I didn't want to have one narrator. So I not only had one narrator, I actually had a cast of characters. And what I mean by that is each character has their own voice. It's their own actor. So I have several different voice parts in here that are spoken by different people, actual real people. You know, it's nothing that's been, you know, AI generated like the big hip thing now is. So I have one narrator to go through, and then every speaking part has a different human voice behind it, acting out as if they were in a movie, but behind the scenes. So it's an audiobook drama. It is fantastic, if I do say so myself. However, since the novel and the audiobook basically get the same reviews, you're going to get kind of a little bit of a mix. I think it's like a 4+ stars out of 5. Not super proud of that. I think it's worth a lot better ratings than that. However, it is what it is. Obviously, if you read the description, you'll get the storyline of what it is about, and I promise you, it is a great, great, great audio drama. It's one of the best that I've heard, and again, the reviews don't reflect that, but if it was just an audiobook on its own, and you can go through that process of seeing those reviews, you'll understand what I mean. It's just it's rated a lot more as an audio drama than it is as a novel, and that, I guess, mistake or shortcomings falls on me. But again, audio drama, absolutely fantastic. So, okay, so next one is how to mentally prepare to receive riches. This is something that I kind of threw together as a way to help different people. I think a lot of people aren't in the right mindset sometimes to have success and wealth in their life, and this is kind of a guide I put together to just help get you on the right path on that journey. I'm still in that journey myself. However, different techniques and tips and tricks that I've put in here have helped me get to the point where, again, I've been able to leave corporate America and move on to, basically creating my own destiny by being an author and by, creating, being a creator, creating content, is the best thing I can say. But it's a quick overview of a lot of my, daily processes on what I do and what I look for. Definitely, a quick read. Again, like I said, besides some of the, the novels or my daunting gratitude daily journal, it is definitely something that you can dive into and probably read in an evening. So, next one is going to be how to grow a money tree for financial freedom. This is also a digital type book, and it was written by a thought or process that I've always had. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but a penny doubled every single day. A course of a month, 30, 31 days, you'll have millions and millions of dollars. And to kind of give you a quick example of that is just like, day 1, it's a penny. Day 2, it's 2 cents. 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, $1.28 after 8 days. But then it just rapidly starts increasing. Then you go from 128 to $2.56, $5.12, and then you can just basically see how it will just immediately take off. So then when you start getting into the hundreds of dollars, the hundreds turn into thousands, thousands turns into 10,000s, the whole 9 yards. So I wrote this book based on that penny double every single day. In theory, like, where would you get that penny every single day? So my best way that I can easily explain that is the stock market. Now, I'm not going to promise riches from the stock market. You can lose money for sure in the stock market. You can make thousands and millions in the stock market. I mean, it depends on, your luck and your strategy. And in this book, I give you kind of a strategy based on dividend producing stocks. So again, I listed a couple in there as examples only. However, I give you the methodology and a plan to follow to be able to start investing money into the stock market, into stocks that pay you a dividend. So basically, let's say you get a stock that pays you 5 cents every 3 months. So at the end of the year, you're going to have basically 20 cents from that one stock. Okay? Not a big deal, nothing to get excited about. But if you had thousands of shares of that stock producing you a nickel every 3 months, you'd be looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars per year. So basically, I lay out a strategy in there on stocks that you're going to be looking for that are financially sound, basically in the black versus being in the red, is the first criteria. Research you got to kind of do on your own. I kind of give you some sense of a plan on what you're going to be looking for. But if you continually buy stocks that produce dividends, and you take those dividends and you invest them in other stocks that produce even more dividends, basically what happens is you just start getting that overall build over time. Again, I started with a cents, and not even a lot. I bought like very small valued stocks that were producing a dividend. My dividends, the first year or two or three, I mean, they were pennies. They really were. But then it started gaining momentum. It started, being dollars, tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, etc., etc. But it gave me the opportunity to work towards, financial freedom through the stock market. And again, you can lose money in the stock market, but if you have a strategy and a plan, you can make money in the stock market. So again, that's kind of like my disclosure on that. So we'll move on to the next one. Is going to be 100 positive thoughts for children. This is 101 affirmations that I had my children say on a daily basis. I had a little chalkboard that I left on the front door, and before leaving for school, I would have them say, I am smart, I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am handsome. 2 boys, 2 girls. They're all very successful adults. My youngest is going through college now. But, my oldest son is a music teacher. My second son is an astrophysicist and data science major, to give you kind of an idea of my 2 sons. My daughter was going to school for geospatial engineering. I'm still not sure 100% what that is. But it has to do with like drones and mapping and all that other stuff. And then my youngest daughter is finishing up college. She's going to be a teacher herself. So again, all academics. And I just made sure that, positive affirmation on the way out in the morning. And when they came home was just something positive. So I wrote this, 101 positive thoughts for children, just something that you can basically feed their mind to every single day. As an adult, sometimes I write stuff, on a steamy mirror that, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am, whatever it is. So it's just, you got to feed your mind the right things to produce better results. I fully believe in positivity, especially in our household or any household. Or if people ask me, how did your children get so successful? One of the main things I tell them about is this book that I wrote, and it's just about feeding positivity to your children, feeding positivity to yourself, your significant other, whatever it may be. And that has been my quest as being an author and a creator, is to basically make life better for us, our children, our adults, whoever. That is my life mission. And basically that's kind of why I'm here on Amazon Live, because I want to share the books that I have written to share with you as the viewer to make your life better. That is my life mission. Anyway, so without further ado, I think that is probably everything. Feel free to visit my author page on Amazon. It's at the bottom of every book that is listed on Amazon. All the links are here for Amazon. Feel free to check everything out. And if you have any questions or messages, I'll be happy to stay on here real quick while I take a drink of water. If you got any comments, feel free to throw a comment out there or two. And other than that, that's basically it. So as I end every live feed or every Amazon influencer video that I have out there, one, thank you for watching and subscribing, following. That helps me know what you are basically interested in. Please check out my books. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time, and be safe out there.